Hello everyone, this is Everything Horror, where we love to talk about everything horror. And in today's video, we are going to be talking about A Quiet Place Part 2. This is the movie that we have been anticipating for more than 2 years, right? 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 This movie was supposed to come out last year, but you know the whole spiel. And finally, it is out. It has been released to the public. You can finally see it in theaters, and I have a lot to say about this film, for sure. Now, A Quiet Place Part 2 is directed by John Krasinski. He directed the first Part 1. Would you call it Part 1? Reviews about the original film were very positive, and the same vibe is happening for Part 2. And I agree to an extent for this film, but there is a point in the movie where things kind of took a nosedive for me. But let's get into it. Let's start off with the positives. The acting. Emily Blunt returns, so was Noah Jupe, and Millicent Simmons returns. And then a great addition to the film is Cillian Murphy. The acting is restrained but loud when it needs to be. Millicent, again, is a standout in the film. She is really, really good. They do this great thing where when the film is shot from her perspective, they drown out the noise and it just creates an awesome atmosphere. That's another great thing about this film. The atmosphere is excellent, just like the first. You're afraid to dig into your popcorn because it's so quiet. And again, when it gets loud, it's excellent. The opening sequence for this film is amazing. That great. They spend a decent amount of time in the past when the actual outbreak took place with the alien creatures. I kind of got that vibe from the trailer, and I'm really glad that they spent the amount of time they did. John Krasinski's directing is top notch. He's really coming into his own. He's so great at suspense, creating tension, and he's just so good at building and building and building. There's sequences in this film where things are happening all at once, and it just creates this awesome tension, and you feel almost claustrophobic. And then the action sequences are very good. Again, filled with tension. The aliens look great, even better than the last film. Although they don't feel as menacing as the first film, especially because we see a kid die on screen. Well, not on screen, but you know what I mean. It is slightly lacking in this film, but overall, I wouldn't knock it too much. And then another positive is how the film starts out. I love it when films start out right from the ending. Alright, so now on to my negatives. I just have one negative, really, or it's just a big negative for me. The way this film ends and the way that it's structured, I kind of liked the way it was structured in a way because it's very different. It's really not like anything I've seen before aside from the Lord of the Rings. But the structure of this film is very different, and it leads to an ending that felt very anticlimactic. We almost leave the film at the same note as the last one, although the last one actually felt more like an ending, but this one really didn't work out for me. It just felt so unfinished, and it really left the theater's thirst unquenched, if you get what I mean. I could totally feel the atmosphere in the audience when the lights turned on. I heard someone give an audible groan, and I felt the same way. It's just the way the film ends feels more like a TV show. It just felt very anticlimactic when the last one felt more like an ending. It was just very unconventional. I don't know, maybe I have to watch the film another time, but it really did leave me with a little bit of a bad taste in my mouth. And it sucked because everything else was excellent. Aside from one part of the film that I thought was kind of stupid with the character, but other than that, everything else was just excellent. Tension, the feeling of dread was all there. All things that I love. The atmosphere for this film was excellent. Acting, all of that. It's just that ending that had to kind of ruin it for me. But yeah, you guys, that's my thoughts on A Quiet Place Part 2. Overall, I'm going to give A Quiet Place Part 2 3.8 air tanks out of 5. But yeah, what did you guys think of A Quiet Place Part 2? Let me know in the comments down below. I greatly appreciate it if you give this video a like. Make sure to subscribe. And this is Everything Horror, where we love to talk about everything horror. Take care, peeps.